Hi, I'm Jim Strawn. We welcome you into the sanctuary, Church United Methodist. I am on location. What a beautiful sanctuary we are in. We're here to talk about the upcoming edition of Root and Branch. It's an interfaith discussion group held by a panelist about religion. We're so delighted to announce that this place right here, Church United Methodist on the corner of Quarrier and Morris, will be the location for this edition of Root and Branch, scheduled for August the 10th. That's a Monday, beginning at 7 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. We've assembled a couple of gentlemen to help talk about what to expect that evening of Monday, August the 10th. First, I call you the leader of it. I know you're the moderator, Mark Atkinson. How are you, Mark?
I'm good.
Good to see you. The lead pastor right here at Church United Methodist, Dr. Tim Bias. Pastor, how are you?
I'm fine too.
Good to see you. Mark, I got affiliated with Root and Branch, learned about it maybe about a year or so ago. But it's been going on for many years. Why don't you talk to the audience about its rich history, talk about how it began, and talk about the importance of keeping it going, and then kind of segue into what it actually is. Kind of a two-pronged question there.
Thank you. The history really starts with a lady named Hazel Crowley. Hazel started this organization 25 or so years ago. And she is a Charleston lady who just loved religion. She was interested in really getting to know religion of all sorts. The joke about Hazel was they couldn't tell if she was Jewish or Catholic because of the questions she would ask, and in reality she was Baptist.
She covered all the bases.
Yeah, she did. But she started this, and it would be a panel, and she started it with Father Sadie, a friend of ours who has passed away, and he was great. Rabbi Urecki has been in it for decades, and he'll be here at our next one. He's fantastic. And her own pastor in South Charleston at a Baptist church. And then they would bring in other people, and she brought me in a couple times, and that's how I learned about it. But it's an interesting organization. It's not something to proselyte. It's not a place to come and bash each other. There's none of that. It's just a place to learn about each other's religion. She really wanted that, and she started it, and there would be 15 or 20 people at these meetings. And then 5 or 6 years ago, right before COVID, Hazel became ill, but she wanted this to continue. And so she gave us permission to continue it, and that's what we're doing.
Did you take the torch at that time from her?
Okay. I did. Now, sort of. Rabbi Urecki and Father Sadie were always with me. But we did that, and we had it for years at the Women's Club in East Charleston. And what we found is through the generosity of people like Pastor Tim here, it seems to work better when we come into
You travel to different congregations.
Yes, and people find that more interesting, and we get a lot more people here. And we can't say enough thank yous to the folks here at Christ Church for what they're doing for us. So that's what we do. It'll be an hour. Most of the discussion will be with Pastor Tim about the Methodist history and the Methodist way and the Methodist things that they do in this community. But you will hear from Rabbi Urecki in this. Molly Linehan Belcher is a theology teacher at Charleston Catholic High School. She's on the panel. Usually we have an imam, Nasir Abdul Salam. He's had a medical issue, and we're praying for him. We don't think he will be here. But it will be mostly talk about Methodist Church.
Speaking of the Christ Church, you've been here 2 or 3 years now, Pastor Tim, is that correct?
I just started my third year.
Third year. Talk to me about the role of this church. It too has a long history, but talk about the role of this church and what it means to our Canal Valley and this city of Charleston and this community.
Jim, I can only tell you what I'm learning while I've been here. I think Christ Church has always had a strong presence in the Charleston community. And that's part of the DNA of who we are as United Methodist. It doesn't mean we're different from the others. It just means that when we talk about, as Wesley would have talked about it, a personal piety,
Yes.
he also talked about a social holiness. So whatever the personal faith was, it was to be lived out in the community. So I think Christ Church has done that really well. Let me do it this way. I growing up, learned about Christ Church. I was in high school when in fact, just starting high school, when I learned that the church had burned. They were meeting at Morris Harvey at the time. And my first experience with the church was in an auditorium at Morris Harvey. I hadn't learned to drive yet, so I had to be only 14 or 15 years old. A few years later, after coming through seminary, I was approached to be an associate here. And in my great wisdom, I said no.
Tim.
I went on someplace else, and it took 50 years, and I'm back.
Here you are.
The point to all of that is that Christ Church has had an influence in this community, just like other faiths, just like other denominations. And it's part of who we are in terms of caring for people, especially those who may be living on the margins. But Christ Church may be one of those churches, again, like others. We always talk about people who are down and out. We very seldom talk about the people who are up and out. And our job is to love people. And that's part of the reason I'm here.
Fascinating. Well said. I'm going to turn back to Mark. You mentioned the panelists, Molly and Rabbi Urecki. What should folks expect the evening of August the 10th? You're the moderator. How does that unfold? I mean, you mentioned it's an hour. Do you have prepared questions? Do you give them a mic, or they have prepared remarks? How does it unfold, Mark?
Yeah. Most of the questions will be to Pastor Tim.
Okay.
It'll be a chance for people to come and learn more about Methodist history, Methodist beliefs, and specifically Christ Church here. They've been kind enough. They've got this cool organ, two of them here, but one of them has a real story behind it, and somebody will be playing a song for us, and that'll be a highlight. But it will be mostly give and take with Pastor Tim about the Methodist Church and its history. The panelists will then comment, and they're great and they're fantastic, about what they've seen and heard here and so on. Maybe the best part of the evening occurs after we're done, because what happens is there are refreshments that will be served, and people are then encouraged to ask questions of the panelists. And people come up and they'll ask, well, why did you say this, and why did you say that, and what's your belief about this, and what has the church done here? So that, to me, is always the best part of the evening.
And Pastor Tim, this will be your first root and branch. Why is it so important for Christ Church to host Root and Branch? And then what are you most excited about your first one?
Well, I think anytime this is, all my opinions are biased opinions. Now you got to understand that.
Yeah.
But my opinion is, I think it's always important for the community to hear from the church. I've always thought that the church, not just Christ Church, but any faith, any denomination, we're the conscience of a community. And when the community doesn't hear from us or doesn't get to have interaction with us, I'll say it in a way that I probably shouldn't, and that is, anything goes.
Okay.
There's a time in which we've got to hold to the love of God that we all know through our own traditions. So I'm excited that Christ Church gets to give their little part of that, and let the rest of the community and maybe even people at Christ Church know how that's related to our brothers and sisters and other traditions and other faiths.
Mark, as we conclude, maybe real quick, a parting shot. If you're watching this and you haven't attended a Root and Branch, why should you come out?
Two reasons. One, you get to know a little bit more about major people in the community, in a major congregation here. But maybe the best thing that I've learned attending these is every time you go and you listen to someone else's faith, in a strange way, that helps you become a better person of your own faith. When you see this is what Methodists do, this is what Catholics do, this is what Muslims do, this is what Jews do, and how devoted they are, it helps you to be a better Christian, a better member of your own faith also.
Well said. We'll leave it right there. Hey, nice job. I'll see you on August the 10th.
Yes.
Pastor Tim, I'll see you on August the 10th.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you as well. August the 10th, mark your calendars. That's a Monday evening right here, Christ Church United Methodist. It's on the corner of Coyer Street and Morris here in downtown historic East End of Charleston, West Virginia. Refreshments will be served. Once again, just to let you know, it's open and free to the public. Please come out, learn, be a part of your Christian community. And we'll see you on August the 10th. I am Jim Strawn. Until next time, take care.